Oh, God. I have a young man for sale if anybody wants him, going cheap.
I'm not cheap.
No, but you can be tricked. Fair enough, right?
You got food?
Hi, guys. How are you today? We've had an early start to the day today. I don't know why, but he's in a mood.
I'm in a mood.
He's in a mood.
I've been up since 10 to 7.
Why?
Puppy accident.
Oh, okay. Miss Dot had a boo-boo.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So he's been tormenting me for the last few minutes because it seems to be his hobby these days. We had an interesting week. We've had a lot of Happy Mail arrived here this week. We had boxes from Amazon, and when they arrived, I was kind of puzzled because I hadn't ordered anything, which is unusual for me because Amazon and I are like
best friends.
And I didn't have any orders. So I was a little surprised to discover that I had 2 boxes arrive on the same day from Amazon. And I got to show you. This is so cute. This one says Donut Disturb. This is a dog toy, and it's a really cute one. It's made by zippypaws.com. It's filled with donuts. It's a giant coffee mug.
Don't squeeze them.
Oh, they squeak, do they? Okay.
Don't squeeze them. Dot will
lose her mind. Yeah. Anyway, this one came for Renee and Dot. It also says that if your pup or the pups at the shelter could play with this one, it's one of Raffin's favorites. And this came from Debbie Antonick. So I wanted to say thank you very much. I have a feeling, given the number of toys that Miss Dot has upstairs, that this will likely go into the bin that we're going to be taking over to the shelter. So I just wanted to say thank you from both myself and from Renee. We do appreciate this. It was very sweet of you and very unexpected. So it was a lovely surprise this week to get this. It was so freaking cute.
The donuts are too small for Dot.
Yeah, the donuts are too small for Dot. She's big dog. But yes. So this will go into the bin for the shelter. We've kind of started collecting some stuff for the shelter. So I thought this was very sweet, but wanted to let you know how much we appreciate it.
Yes.
And then there was a second box that also came from Deb, and it was this. Do you think she watches me much?
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little. Thank you. I love this. And no, I did not have this stamp. It is awesome.
There's a bunch of cancellation.
Yeah, cancellation stamps, got special delivery postcard. It's a really pretty stamp.
Nice.
So this one's going to be getting some use. So again, Deb, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It was very sweet of you to think of us. So I was excited about that. And then I got a package, I think it was on Wednesday. Had an address, a return address, but no name. So I had to do a little bit of investigating. And I managed to find out that the address belonged to Gail Wolseley. So Gail, God love her, honestly, like check this out. A blingy skull.
Of course.
I love it. So this is going onto my keys. I love this. It's fabulous. So a blingy skull. Love it. Thank you, Gail. I really do. I absolutely love it. This is such a fun thing. So cute and so very me. I love it. So there was that. And then on Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I got a box marked from France. And our good friend, Patrick Panafous, sent this humongous box. There's a great many things that the French do really well, but one thing in particular that they excel at is pastry. And my friend Patrick sent us a box full of French cookies and some favorite sweets. Of course, everything's made with butter and it's all very fattening and all very yummy. And there was even some like French waffles in there. I had one of those in the toaster this morning. It was so good. Yeah, so much for, I'm going to be a bit more chunky this week. I amazing. But then not only did he fill it up with things to feed the body, but he sent a bunch of things to feed the soul too. So he sent me some stamps that are available in France, and check these out. They're incredible. The detail is unbelievable. So he sent those, and then this beautiful one.
Oh, of course,
the dragonfly is just gorgeous, so realistic. It's beautiful. And then cancellation stamps.
European style cancellation.
European cancel. I love this. I absolutely love it. So I wanted to share with you that. But he also sent me a note inside that said thank you. But he made me very misty and very leaky, and it was very, very sweet. So
you don't want to read it again.
I don't, because then I'll leak. And a leaky Tracy is just not a pretty thing. I ugly cry. So, but yes, so that was the happy mail this week. We had so much fun, and we were just, I don't know, just so touched when all this stuff arrives. It's just so sweet and appreciated. Definitely appreciated. And what else? Was there something else this week? Oh yeah, our shout out for the week.
Yes.
Our shout out of the week goes to my bud, to Deb Antonick at paintingwithdeb.com. And the reason for that was, one, she's kind of done some major overhaul to both her painting style and to her website, and she's just made some really cool changes. And one of the things that she's done is she's created some amazing kits, and those kits usually include the surface and the stamp, and then of course a pattern and all of the fun instructions on how to do that. But then she has some awesome designs that are just traditionally toll painted and decorative painting, and she's just a phenomenal designer. So go and check out paintingwithdeb.com. For a couple of reasons today, because one, we have a coupon code, Tracy10. Just Tracy10 is the coupon code. So you're going to get a discount there. But she also got a limited supply of the newest holiday stamps from Stampendous.
Oh, there's Patrick.
So you got to go and check it out, because she's got some adorable holiday stamps, and they are not going to last long. So if you want them and you want to get them at a discount, go and check out paintingwithdeb.com, because you're going to love what you find.
So Patrick says it was supposed to be happy mail, not make me cry mail.
Oh, it was happy mail. It was happy tears.
It was happy tears.
It was happy tears. But I get very mushy. I'm a sook. If you don't know what that means, it's a Canadian word. Canadians use it all the time. I'm a sook.
It's East Coast.
It's an East Coast thing, yeah. A sook is actually refers to a codfish. It's a young codfish is referred to as a sook. But Canadians, especially here on the East Coast, we refer to a sook as somebody who is, emotional and a bit of a crybaby, and that's me.
She's a sook.
I'm sentimental. And over 50, menopausal. So I cry at Hallmark commercials. So
what else?
The membership group painted the country honey, or the farmhouse honey, at the end of the month. And so they are done with that pattern. So that one is now up on the website. I really love that one. That's one of my favorites, I think. I really love that one. And, of course, then we have the new one up, which is the Gerbera Daisy at the French Flower Market. That one actually was inspired by Patrick. Because
fresh honey?
No, the newest one.
Oh, the newest one.
Yeah, the Marché aux Fleurs. The reason that I designed that one is some time ago he had gone to Paris for something, and something I saw in some of his pictures just sort of tweaked something in my memory, and I did a little research, and the next thing you know, bang zoom, I'm painting something about Ile de la Cité. I think I said that right. Probably not. But it is the oldest and largest flower market in France.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's in the heart of Paris. So that's where that inspiration come from. And I just, the bright pink Gerbera Daisy, I just thought would be fun. So that's what they're doing for the month of August. And then yesterday I finished their design for the month of September, which
There's
is
Gail Woolsey.
Hi, Gail.
She just popped in.
Did she? Okay. She missed it.
You missed
She
it.
can go back and look.
Yeah.
So
We got your skull.
yeah, I got
that
my
sounds
skull.
really bad.
Yeah.
We have your skull.
So, yeah. So the membership group, we have an autumnal design that's including and incorporating some gold foils and things like that in it. So pumpkins and sunflowers and
You mean that thing behind you?
is it behind me? I forgot where
I
it
think the
was.
microphone's covering it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So for my membership group, this is what we're painting in September. Tons of technique and designs in there. I love the gold foil. I just think that's fun. So we are going to be doing sunflowers in September. So your pattern for that is already done. It'll be posted at the end of August.
Beginning of September.
Yeah, beginning of October. Yep. And this is the one that they're doing this month. I love this one.
Ooh, yay, camera decided to focus.
I just think I'm kind of obsessed with this dark blue background.
Is Edward in the crowd?
I don't know. Edward went to a show last night.
Oh, did he?
He did. He went to see Gladys Knight.
Oh, wow.
And I saw her live many years ago when I was living overseas. Got a chance to see her live, and I love her music, always have. And so Edward, he posted something on Facebook that he was, at this Gladys Knight thing. And then I asked him, I said, is she wonderful? Because she was wonderful when I saw her. I thought she was fabulous. And then he sent me video from the show. So, I can't believe it. She's 78 years old. She can still really, really sing. She's phenomenal. Phenomenal lady. And you might have noticed we added a new teapot to the patterns this week too. So the Sweet Peas teapot pattern is up on the website now as well. And what else have I done this week? Oh, and there's a new printable up. And there's a new free printable up on the website. So that's available to download whenever you're ready. There's a fall one up. And I think that's about it.
You think?
I think.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Sort of, maybe?
Maybe.
All right.
Sometimes this elevator doesn't go to the top floor.
Is that the sweet pea teapot I see?
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep.
There's another piece on the floor over there that I'm...
Oh, my giant pumpkin.
The giant pumpkin. Pumpkin spice and everything nice?
Yeah. That's for me. That's for the front door.
Oh.
I don't know. I might make it into a pattern. Who knows?
Ding dong.
It's my grocery order.
Oh, oh, Jessica Killen's in there.
Nice.
We got all the people's...
There. All right. So I think we're going to tackle Shine Bright today, which is that the mate to the Christmas one. I just wanted one for the summer. I have a fall one as well.
Yeah, show it. Not that one.
Well, that's what you pointed at. There. So Shine Bright. This is not a difficult piece to paint. It is fun. It's got some nice little techniques for the background just to keep it from looking too flat. I didn't want to go too heavy on stenciling or pattern or stamping for that background. I wanted it to feel like a night sky or an evening sky. So that's what we're doing.
What do we got here?
Oh, our giveaways. We have drawing sets from Tombow.
Yeah, they smell like pencils.
Yeah, they smell like Oh, good. There's also a stamp set in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
combo pencils and stamp set.
Yep. So it's the Tombow Professional Drawing Set, which is a 3-piece set of their top-of-the-line pencils, drawing pencils, that are really, really nice. I'm very taken with all things Tombow lately. Everything that I've played with has just been exceptional. The quality is spot on. So, yeah, we have 3 nice little drawing sets to give away, and then we added a set of stamps to that as well. So, plus some other goodies. Who?
Jessica was sick.
Yes, Jessica had COVID.
She had the Rona.
She had the Rona. Yes. The Rona.
She had the Rona.
Yeah. So we are going to tackle Shine Bright today. It's fun. It's not a difficult piece to paint. A lot of it is just simply blocking in color. But I wanted to show you some fun little effects so that we can really do something a little kicked up. So if you are ready to get started, so am I. Yay!
Oh, and this month that's what we're doing for giveaways. All this month is Tombow stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So next Saturday, more Tombow stuff. And
Next
Saturday
Saturday-
after that,
More Tombow stuff.
more Tombow stuff.
Yep. This month is all about the Tombow.
Yeah. And okay, no, I got to fix that.
Yes, please do.
That is Brit.
It is bright. It is very bright.
Does that look blue, doesn't it?
Oh, it's blue. Well, it is blue, but it's dark blue.
A darker blue?
It's Prussian blue, but I don't think it's that dark.
Yeah. Give me a second, I'll bring down the... First, gotta turn off the autofocus, because...
And there's Ellie Purcell has joined us. And Danita Sicardo. Hi from Texas. Hi, Texas.
I like Texas.
But it's hot. We thought it was hot here this week. It was hotter in Texas.
Ooh, too dark. There. That's good.
We hit 40 degrees here this week.
There, your hands have color in it now.
I know. They don't look so bleached out.
There we go.
I mean, I'm pale, but I'm not that pale. Oh, that's much better.
There you go.
Yeah, we hit 40 degrees Celsius out here this week. And it's supposed to go to 38 today, which is a little cooler, but not enough to really make a difference.
Well, Dot enjoyed her walk this morning before it even hit 20 degrees. So.
Yeah, she was a happy camper this morning.
She was in a weird mood.
Yeah.
She got to meet new people.
Well, she got to meet a human in a wheelchair today.
Yes.
So I imagine that I wasn't there, so I imagine the little one was pretty excited about seeing somebody just like him.
Yeah. Well, he was early teens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So not so little.
Not so little, but you can definitely brighten.
No,
Tell it brightened up his day. So
Dot has a tendency to brighten people's day anyway.
yeah, she's all love.
Yeah.
That's all she wants to do is spread happiness and licks,
Yeah.
kisses, and
She's a happy pupper.
hugs. Her version of hugs is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put all 95 pounds of me on your thigh until you pet me.
Yeah, she's gotten a bit chunky. Well, not fat, just muscle up in the front.
She's beefy up front.
Yeah. Can you pass me that box of stencils?
Okay.
I was looking for it. And...
I'm gonna bring down your microphone too.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take this away.
Thank you. Oh, jeez. I just trashed the place, Trace. Okay, so I'm going to be using one of my favorite. I'm obsessed with polka dots. You guys figured that out by now. I'm going to use this random polka dot stencil for this because I like my random polka dots. And I took about an hour and a half the other day and I cleaned about 20 stencil brushes because
You have a tendency to use them and not clean them?
well, I have a tendency to just set them off to the side until I have a collection and then I sit down and clean them all. So, yeah, they were all looking a bit sketchy, so it was time. So, we're going to create in the background this effect back here, which is just, the idea of having some of these little lightning bugs off in the background. So, we're going to do that with this stencil, this random polka dot. And I'm going to stay away from the bigger dots. So I'm going to use these 1/4 inch and 1/8 all of these smaller dots for this. Kind of like the idea of the smaller ones. And the color I'm going to use Sunset Gold.
I am Saul's coffee.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Here's a problem. I'm gonna go get a coffee.
So I want the stencil, this color, to be almost dry. That brush should be almost dry. So only a small quantity of that yellow on the stencil brush. And then circular fashion. And then change directions frequently so that you get an even distribution of color. We don't want these to be opaque. And I kind of like the idea of them being very soft. They don't have to be super bright either. So this is what you get. You get sort of these soft dots. And you're going to put them in small clusters here and there throughout the background. So that we just have small groupings of them. You don't want to have 10 tons of it back there. It's not really necessary. But don't be afraid to work over top of that lettering, because anything that you do after this is going to get covered by it. It just gives the implication that those fireflies are back there in the distance. Now, on the first one, I think I kind of overdid it a little bit. I just got real excited. Just no great surprise. But I kind of like it so that it's a bit more sporadic, so that we don't end up with 10 tons of polka dots. And you don't want them too close together, so I'm keeping it simple. And I think we're just about there. I just want to tuck a couple more in here. Now, some of them can be lighter than others. Some can be a bit more opaque. That's entirely up to you. It depends on how bright you want them. I'm a fan. I kind of like the idea of them being very soft. There we go. Look at that. So I've got a collection of very soft dots in the background. And then we want these little fellas to glow a bit. So we're going to add a little bit of a glow around them. And I'm trying to find my dry brush. So I'm using a point blender, and I'm picking up a little bit of that same yellow. And I'm going to, that brush is not going to cut it. Gotta find my, there it is. I was looking for the, have you ever noticed that you develop a favorite when it comes to certain brushes? I don't know what it is, but for me, this point blender is just the ideal, and it's my medium point. So you want the paint almost dry, and then you're going to go around that dot very softly. But you don't want to come right to the edge. You want a little bit of a corona around it. Nice and soft. Go around your dots. Now, if they line up and overlap, that's okay. This is just a super easy way of making these implied that we have, lightning bugs back there. And because that brush is nearly dry, we're only depositing a small amount of color on there. There we go. So keep a light touch. Make sure that brush is almost dry, because if it's wet, you're going to get a smear of paint. And we want it very, very dry so that we get very soft glow around these dots. There we go. Now it is going to create a little bit of dust on your surface. That's okay too. Most of that will just blow off or wipe off. Just a super easy way of getting that glow. You just don't want it to end up being a really harsh ring. So use a light hand. Super easy. So our pal Miss Sandy is off to Las Vegas tomorrow for SDP. She's teaching a special event out there. So hopefully, if you get a minute, pop onto her Facebook page and wish her luck, because she has a huge class. She has 75, something like 75 students in her class. So wish her luck. It's going to be a great class. There we go. So now we have our lightning bugs in the background. And Renee has coffee now.
Yay!
So we're going to move on to our lightning bugs, which is these little fellows here. And you'll notice that there's sort of a semicircle around their butt. And you're going to do the same thing to that semicircle, but it's going to be a little stronger. So just within that circle, dry brush with that yellow.
Let's not spill coffee while I try to open up the computer.
I'm a little more aggressive with this one because I want, these guys are front and center, so I want those to be a little brighter. They're not quite opaque, but they are quite a lot brighter than the dots in the background. And it's just easier to do this now than trying to do it later. And besides, we're going to paint over a lot of this, so it's okay. Now, the line drawing for this one in the pattern is on an 8x10, just like what I've got here. But that line drawing also fits into that jumbo tag quite nicely. So if you're not able to get the jumbo tag, because we sold out, I think we've got one left. Oh, I think actually we're sold out. So if you're not able to get a jumbo tag or a surface that's roughly 9x12, then an 8x10 will do the job too. Looks cute on canvas.
Sadly, I don't think we have the point blenders on the website.
No, we do not. However, They do have them on thebrushguys.com. And you have a coupon code for the Brush Guys, and it's Tracy M. So Tracy and then capital M.
What did we do last weekend? Nutcracker, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we did the
Ooh.
Noel Nutcracker.
We're almost to 5,500 subscribers.
Yeah. Getting there.
Almost to 6K. Where is the live? Live?
He's looking for a video.
Ah, there we go. Oh, I gotta fix that.
So now we have glow. We have glow. So here is where we're going to start building some of these images a little bit. We're going to start with a little bit of warm white. And I'm going to grab my rigger.
Yes, if you go to sandymcteerdesigns.com, you should be able to get the point blenders.
Yes, she may have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want the I want the actual live. I don't want to go to edit this stuff. Why is YouTube changing things?
I don't know. So we're going to start with these daisies and these lightning bugs. Now for those lightning bugs, I'm going to take some warm white and I'm going to paint the body with just a single coat of warm white.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you because Sue Potts just donated $20. And the message reads, "Let's make other puppers happy like Dot."
Yes, she's the happy puppers.
Thank you, Sue Potts.
Yes, thank you very much.
I just got onto the streaming software that YouTube provides, and it's it's not fun to use, put it that way. But it works.
So I am painting the base of this body white for a reason. Because we're going to put a nice yellow on here, and I want it to be nice bright yellow. And yellow is notoriously transparent. So if I were to just put it over top of this dark blue, I would end up with an odd shade of yellow green, and then it would never really get to that really brilliant blue.
And Janet Roche just sent $10.
Nice, thank you,
And it
Janet.
is a Shiba Inu with a heart.
Aw. Well, we do love the puppers.
Yes, we do. It's a super sticker.
So that same warm white that we're using for those bees, we're also using for all of the petals on these daisies. Now, you might notice that when I'm painting these, I leave a space. And I always start the petal where it joins the flower, so that I can do it in like 2 to 3 strokes. I want all those vertical lines. Those stria that follow when you do this. You get these fine lines when you're painting. It accomplishes something that a liner just will not do. It lets you paint those the petals so that they look more realistic. Instead of just trying to base coat them in, by pulling my brush this way, it creates the lines in the petal that actually occur naturally. And so this is why those daisies take on more of a realistic appearance.
Uh-oh. JL's off to the dentist.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm thinking I might have to zoom in. Do you think I should zoom in?
Go ahead.
You have a view there. Should I?
Yeah.
Yeah? I will zoom in.
Okay. I just went backwards there.
Backwards?
Yep.
There you go. Is that better? Once it catches up.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah.
So when I pull that stroke, now you can do this with a small round. I'm using a rigger just because that's what I'm most comfortable with. But a small round will do the same thing. So you can see I'm getting variations in those petals. Some of them show a little of the blue, some less so. When we're done, that all works in your favor and gives you a more realistic looking petal. Because we're going to shade this, so it's going to get some nifty color added to it. And it helps produce a nice realistic looking daisy. I kind of like these wonky looking daisies. You know, they're not that perfect stroked in type. I prefer these. They're a bit more realistic looking.
You never see a perfect daisy.
Not too often. Not wild daisies anyway. Gerbera daisies are about as close to perfect as you can get. But I don't know. I just think that these wonky daisies are a lot more interesting.
Robin Storm, I got my point blenders before I painted Holiday Blessing. First time I ever used them. I like them.
Mm-hmm. They're a lovely dry brush. You can float with them too. I was going to tell you that. I know it sounds strange, but yeah, you can.
She might teach you how to. You should do a pattern that requires you to. Or can you get the same effect with other brushes?
Oh, you can. But you can get the same effect dry brushing with other brushes too. But it's, it's what makes life easier.
Yeah.
Right?
What's appropriate for this situation?
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, it's what I say. Use the brush you're most comfortable with. We get excited about a new brush, but sometimes that new brush can give you fits because it doesn't work the way the person that was demoing it did. Do you know what I mean?
You've gotten that a lot, didn't you?
We get that a lot, and it's simply because it's like anything else. You learn to control a specific brush. The first time you use a rigger, you don't nail it. I didn't. Until I started working with it to see what it could do and how much control it took. And that comes down to practice. Like doing the stroke work on those leaves during the live class, trying to do those lavender leaves.
Oh.
I was fine as long as I was putting in a stroke in one direction. But going in the opposite direction, it wasn't so easy. Was it?
Oh, it just can't make up its mind whether to. It's got a color correcting sensor that I'm trying to tell it not to use.
Oh, okay. So it's making decisions it doesn't have permission to make.
I don't know if it's white balance or. I'll find out.
So I love painting daisies. I mean, you guys probably figured that out because I do them quite frequently. I just like them. I've always been a fan of daisies because they're a simplistic flower. They're not difficult to paint, but in general, I find them interesting. They have a variety of textures. They don't always look exactly the same. You can change them up by changing some of the color. They don't have to be snow white. They could be a soft pale yellow with a dark brown center. They could be a soft pink or a little bit of blue.
What other colored daisies would go well? I feel the brightness of the bugs is taken away from the white daisies, but I'm not sure. I thought yellow or pink.
You know what? A bright pink would be pretty. With the black center, similar to echinacea. They do occur in the wild. A bright pink would be pretty. I'm a fan of the white daisy. I just liked how it popped off of this. But quite honestly, the focus of this was intended to be those lightning bugs. So, you know.
Oh, there's going to be some Bahama Blue in there.
Oh yeah, there's always Bahama Blue.
Don't worry.
I like Bahama Blue.
She's going to be adding it to the daisies.
Oh, and I had an idea the other day. I was trying to think of something fun to do for the holidays. And I was surfing the net and going through some trend reports. And one of the things that kept popping up and that is continuing this year is, the pickup truck thing. For the holidays. I see a lot of pickup trucks at Christmas time. There's always, the little red pickup truck. Well, this year it's not red. This year it's blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a blue pickup.
Blue pickup trucks rule.
Yeah. So it's a blue pickup truck this year, showing up all over the place. But the colors for Christmas this year are quite different than usual. There's a lot of black and white still, which doesn't really surprise me. There's always the traditional red, green, red, black, red, white. That's a given. You're always going to see that. But the one that actually pleased me greatly when I saw it was various shades of blue, like this dark Prussian blue. But I saw a pickup truck done with Bahama Blue. It was like an old-fashioned pickup truck in this great Bahama Blue. It looked very distressed. And I was a little concerned that, if they're going to use Bahama Blue, I cringed thinking they were going to have, palm trees or something associated with it, and they didn't.
Oh, nice.
They had a nice little, Christmas trees and boxes in the back, and the colors that they paired up with it tended not really tropical, but would be seen in a tropical one. So corally pinks, dark corally pinks, and bright lime greens. It was really quite pretty, but it did not look or read tropical, which I thought was fun.
I had a navy blue metallic pickup. I called it my Blue Power Ranger.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I know.
It was the Blue Power Ranger, and I wanted to put the Power Ranger logo on it somewhere, but never got a chance to it. Do we get a Bahama Blue pickup truck this year? New design? Question mark.
I'm thinking. Well, it'll be a pickup truck, but not a traditional pickup truck. So I'm kind of obsessed lately with like truly vintage things. In case you hadn't figured that out, I've been feeling very nostalgic. Everything sort of has this, vintagey feel
like
to
mason
it.
Jars.
Mason jars and whatnot. And I shy away from doing typical farmhouse stuff.
I thought we were doing the jam.
Oh, shush.
Oh, sorry.
Because.
I let something out of the bag I shouldn't have.
Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't sign an NDA.
Stop. I'm thinking more along the lines of like a Thin Lizzy pickup truck, like a Model A or a Model T pickup truck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my brain goes. I'm not going to like 1933 short box. I'm going further back, like 1913 to 1920. In that ballpark, that's where my brain has been going.
Like the Model A.
Model A or the old Ford Model T pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my brain goes. I don't know why. I've always been obsessed with, very vintagey things. I think that's one of the reasons I go towards lettering. Because I like that old signage. I like that vintage signage. And so when I was, going through all these trend reports and here's these bright blue trucks, like, how do you do that without being like everybody else? So I've been thinking like Thin Lizzy or, one of the old Model Ts or Model As. That's where my brain goes.
I'm personally a fan of the 1930s, 1940s style farm trucks.
Me too. Well, your grandfather had one, a 1933 short box.
Yeah. Chevy short box.
Yeah.
But I'm also a big rat rod fan, so
Yeah. Having grown up with a lot of those vintage, I mean, my dad was constantly rebuilding vehicles. It was his hobby. So,
my hobby would be rebuilding old motorcycles.
Mm.
But that's expensive.
Yeah, well, rebuilding cars wasn't a cheap one either.
No.
But then he outgrew the cars thing and started rebuilding airplanes.
Need more of a challenge.
More of a challenge.
Yes.
So he rebuilt aircraft for museums. How's that for a hobby?
I wound up getting a red with a black top.
Ooh.
Bahama blue station wagon.
Oh, like a Woody.
Yeah. Like the,
Oh my gosh,
like-
that would be so
like the
cute.
Oldsmobile Dad had.
Yeah. The chuck wagon.
The chuck wagon, yeah. The woodchuck wagon.
We had, when the kids were small, we had a, what was it? It was a,
It was a Oldsmobile.
yeah, it was an
Cutlass
old
wagon.
Cutlass wagon. Yeah, a station wagon.
Yeah.
I was trying to think what it was, but yeah.
Had the bench
Cutlass.
seat in the trunk.
Yep, it was, kids loved that car.
And then he went to the actual Cutlass Supreme.
Yeah. Then he went to a Cutlass
That was a
Supreme.
nice car.
It was. Okay, so we've got these.
What did he have after the Cutlass?
The Blazer.
Oh, yes. The Chevy Blazer.
Yes.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got the Acura. That
Yep.
was a
Beautiful.
mint car.
Yep. And then after the Acura, we got the.
The Mitsubishi.
Yep. We had the RVR, the little. We had 3 of those.
I shouldn't have.
It was, you know what? That was a great little reliable vehicle.
Yeah, for going back and forth between town.
Yeah.
Not as far as he took it.
No, he drove the crap out of those things.
Yeah.
So, and then now we have the Jeep. So we're happy with the Jeep. We love the Jeep.
Jeep is nice.
The Jeep is very nice.
A Woody would be awesome memories.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? My problem is that I look at a Woody and the first thing that pops into my head is it should have surfboards on top of it, not a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's where my brain goes, but
Or a ski rack.
or no, not even a ski rack. I always
No.
think warmer weather when I think
Yeah.
of those. I don't know why.
See, I see that when I see like 1970s style Volkswagen Bugs.
So I have a little bit of Bahama Blue.
Who owned a Volkswagen Bug
I did.
in the chat? I know you had one.
I had 2 of them.
You rolled one.
I didn't roll it. My friend rolled it.
But who had a 1970s era Volkswagen Bug? With the engine in the back.
Yeah. I had a 1970 VW Bug.
Linda Engstrom had a 1937 Ford and numerous others. Whew.
Yep.
Built in 1937 from a ground up. Wow. That would have been easy to do with the tools nowadays.
Yeah. My dad had a 1957 Thunderbird. A 1933 Chevy short box. Had a wood floor. I loved that.
Paula Ranstel had a Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah.
And Jane Schumann had a Volkswagen Bug. And Debbie Reeder.
Yep.
A green one.
Mine was dark blue. One of them was dark blue. The 69 was baby blue and covered in flowers.
Marjorie Eaton had a 1971 Volkswagen Bug. Molly Ann Stocks had a 1963 Volkswagen Bug.
Wow.
Brenda Ellis had a 64 Volkswagen Bug. Carrie Seibelt had a 74 Super Beetle.
Oh, wow.
And Marjorie Eaton had one that was Bahama Blue. I own a Volkswagen Rabbit. That's not a bug.
Nope.
But I have a friend of mine who drives a Rabbit.
You know what? The best Rabbits were the German-made ones.
Yes.
And the other German-made one that was in the same ballpark was the Scirocco.
They still make the Scirocco.
Yeah, but at that particular time in the late 70s when I was living overseas, the Polizei used the Scirocco.
Some of them still use the Scirocco.
Yeah, and man, those things would go.
They were a quick little car.
Yeah.
I had an MG Midget.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
I had a friend of mine that had a had the MG with the Union Jack painted on the hood. And another friend that had the Austin Mini.
I love
a
minis.
real Austin Mini with the Union Jack on the roof.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, then it was just an Austin. It was just a miniature Austin.
Yeah.
The Austin Mini was a revamp.
Yeah.
So
I'm, wherever the glass is showing, I'm putting a stroke of that Bahama Blue. So the outside edge of the bottle, and just above that metal band that's holding the handle on is Bahama Blue as well. Just underneath the lid.
I had an ancient one when I was in Germany living in the early 70s. The distributor cap would skip around on the cobblestone streets. The noise would make it go down the road. Gazork, gazork, gazork. I love that bug.
It was funny because I had a girlfriend of mine at the time that I had the 70. She had a 68 and the transmission went in it. And she went to the local dealership, bought a new transmission, brought it home, put it in herself, and went to work and still got there on time. They were so easy to fix.
Well, yeah, not anymore.
It was literally just take it out, drop the new one in, connect this, connect that, and away you go. But I always thought it was so funny that, she'd get up in the morning, the transmission wasn't working, the mechanic said it wasn't going to go. She went and got a new part, dropped it in, and was on her way to work. It was hilarious. And I have yet to meet anybody that had a working heater in a VW.
No. That's the one thing that...
It was lousy for that.
Because it was an add-on.
Yeah. It was never... They never worked. Or if they did, they didn't work for long.
Yes, I believe Maureen Baker carries Dynasty brushes.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. Believe she is a Dynasty girl.
Yuppers.
74 Super Beetle. That would have been fun to drive.
So while you have the Bahama Blue out, you're going to paint those berries with the Bahama Blue. Just base coat them. Couple of coats, all you really need. If you get it. I do love the opacity of this color. There's something not right there. Oh, that's why. That's not Bahama Blue. I was wondering how come that was so light. Okay. I actually used Crystal Blue on this one. They're very close together, but the Crystal Blue is about one value lighter, which ordinarily wouldn't be that much of a big deal, except we're painting on Prussian blue, and so it stands out like a sore thumb. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I was wondering how come I just wasn't getting any blue. I was reading more like white. There we are.
First car I ever learned to drive stick on was...
An Iltis.
yeah, a Bombardier Iltis.
Yeah. It was a military vehicle.
That shortly after I learned how to drive it, they retired it.
Yep.
And is now in parades as a historical vehicle.
Well, it
I
should
feel
be.
old.
Yeah. Well, it's older than me, for God's sake. The Iltis.
Well, the Iltis replaced the Willys.
Yeah.
So the World War II to Vietnam era staff jeeps.
Give you an idea.
Yeah.
The Iltis is an old vehicle.
But
I know.
you could fix it with a baseball bat.
Yep.
And I have. Fixed it with an axe handle. I fixed it with a open flame.
Yep. Was not the prettiest vehicle, and stuff fell off them all the time.
Like doors.
Like doors. Doors fell off them frequently.
Doing 110 down the highway, and there goes my door.
Oops.
And if the door's gone, so is my side view mirror.
Yep. Because they're all connected.
Fun days. Good times. Good times.
Good times.
Oh yeah,
Like
and
the
that was
VW bug.
Yeah.
When you said that I rolled it, I didn't roll it,
Your
and it
friend
wasn't my VW that rolled.
Oh, it was your friend's VW.
It was my friend's VW that rolled. So, yes, but it was funny because we literally made the turn a little too tight, and then rolled into the grassy area on the roundabout, and it rolled I think 3 times, and the roof was all pucked in, like it just had a big dent in the roof. And I'll never forget it because my friend's brother was in the back seat. And he literally just laid down in the back seat, put both feet up on the roof, and pushed as hard as he could until we heard poing. And then it was all good.
Yep.
And then we could hear the vehicle, like them trying to get it into gear. It was like, and then it just drove right out of the...
Wasn't it the bull moose that tried to...
It was the bull moose that trashed my father's VW. That was the 68. Tossed it across the highway like it was a basketball.
What's this? I have the pleasure of teaching 3 of my grandchildren to drive stick if they don't give me a heart attack. Yeah, that's about right.
It's their job. So, the leaves on this, antique green, couple of coats. You can use lush green, which is what I'm using for this because it happens to be sitting there. I love this green, this new green from Decor. Just yummy. Covers really nicely too. It's a great green. Am I not loud enough? He's just adjusting my microphone.
Just adjusting it so I can hear you a little bit better. Talking away from a condenser mic doesn't really help.
No, I know. So I love this green. I mean, Decor puts out new colors every year. Some of them I absolutely love. Some are like, okay, it's pretty. You know, I like it. I mean, I like most colors, but every once in a while, they come out with some new ones and I go, oh yeah. And I did a lot of oh yeah this year.
Jason just liked it.
So that green for those leaves, I'm a fan. And I do like these little itty bitty leaves here.
I think Dad took the bike
I hope so. Needs to get some mileage on that baby.
He needs signal lights.
I know. Yeah, well,
He doesn't have signal lights on his motorcycle.
I don't know why he doesn't just take it into the shop and have them put them in.
Because most of them, they're Harley dealers, but not Harley mechanics.
Okay. But-
And then they're just going to say, what? I'm pretty sure I've been telling him for the last while, he needs one part, and it should fix everything.
Oh, yeah. And? that part is?
It's called a Turn Signal Security System Module.
Okay.
It's right in the name. Oh, yeah, there goes the bike.
Oh,
Just
there,
fired it
that's
up. He's getting Gizmo a harness.
You gonna take him for a drag?
Uh,
Can't picture Gizmo in a harness.
it's gonna be either funny or not as
Or
exciting
non-event.
or a non-event. Yeah. The base coat, the blue that
For
we're
the
painting on?
background is Prussian blue. I used 2 coats. And I just realized that I missed a leaf. When I traced it, I forgot a leaf.
Looking a little empty on that side.
Well, I was wondering how come there was nothing to balance out the other leaf. There should have been. So I'm just going to paint one in. Because it just wouldn't look right without it. It needed a little more visual weight on that side. And I couldn't figure out why it didn't look right. And I realized it was missing a leaf.
The green is lush green.
Yep. You can use antique green if you prefer. Avocado if you don't have either of those. Avocado.
What about green gold?
No, green gold is too yellow.
It's too yellow?
Yep. And very transparent. You'd have to base coat all of the leaves with white first.
Ah.
So, I have leaves. So now we're going to clean up that brush.
Now everybody's like, hold up. White pencil? Question mark?
Oh. This is a Bohin. This is from France. It's a dressmaker's pencil. So it has white chalk. And so when I'm working on dark surfaces, I like to be able to see what I'm doing. So if I need to fix a line drawing, this is the ideal, like right here, because I missed a line.
Boom.
And the other benefit is, yeah, it just washes off.
Uh-oh.
So yes, and if you're looking for something like this, I got this one from Cupboard Distributing. So cdwood.com. This is a very handy tool to have in your arsenal. I also have this one from Soline, which is really good. But this one, I've had this one for years. I love this one too. Has that white chalk pencil, but it also has a graphite pencil, and it has a stylus. So if you can't find this one, this is a great addition as well.
And you got that one at what, Walmart?
I know I actually got that one at Cupboard Distributing as well.
Oh, wow.
But those ones are available in most sewing stores. You can get one of those. So I'm using a little bit of warm white, and we're going to base coat some wings. And I want to make sure that these are quite opaque. So take your time, making sure that they're nice and even. These little wings.
Something about mother's spit.
I know.
Yeah. They can take rust off a bumper.
I don't know what that is.
You didn't use your knock eraser? Question mark.
I didn't. No need to. You can just literally wipe it off. That's the nice thing about them, that it is a temporary fix. It will wipe right off. And if it leaves a mark, then a little bit of water and it just dissolves.
You can treat it like schmutz.
Like schmutz, yes, exactly. Just treat it like schmutz. It's all good. Somebody's going to ask what schmutz is.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. It's like you come here. Oh my God, come here. You're all schmutzig. That's when the mother's spit comes out.
Yeah.
When her kids are schmutzig.
I need to get one of those jar pencils.
They're very, very handy to have. I was sitting here the other day thinking that would be a fun thing to do a class on just tools and supplies. Like what kind of things are handy to have. I'm a fan.
Do you have next week planned already?
Next week is already done. Pattern is already up on the website.
Oh, okay.
We
Never mind.
Yeah.
How about the weekend after that?
Well, give me a break, will you? Jeez.
Well, you said you were going to take a break sometime this week. Or sometime this month.
Yeah, sometime. Not sure when. I want to get... I'm trying to get ahead of the game a little bit so that I'm not...
Virginia hedges. If you can't get them at the brush guys, you could try sandymcteerdesigns.com.
Yep.
Who else would have the small riggers?
Maureen Baker.
Maureen Baker.
Yep. MaureenBaker.com. She carries all of the faux squirrels, so...
And if you're in Canada...
Country Bear.
Country Bear. I want oleander tea.
Oleander tea.
Hmm.
We should...
We're coming up on fall, so
Yeah,
it's
so
definitely...
that's definitely time for that one.
We definitely got to do a Halloween thing.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I like oleander tea. It's a fun project. And there's some flames in there. There's a neat technique for doing
yes,
the flames.
there is.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, yes, next Saturday we're painting a teapot.
A teapot. A special
Sweet-
teapot.
Sweet peas teapot.
Oh, look at that. You're getting your sweet pea teapot.
Yep.
A tool class would be good. Also a class how to use different specialty brushes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could absolutely do that. So look, I was going to say bees, but they're not. They're Latin bugs.
Latin and bugs. What's next weekend's pattern?
Sweet peas teapot.
Yeah. I would like a tool class as well, says Sheila.
I am notorious for tools. I have tools and doodads and gadgets. I'm a gadget girl. I'm like that in the kitchen too. My kitchen, I got all of the goodies.
The flames are why I want to watch you paint it.
Oh.
Oh, what else have we got here? My friend Carol Maxwell also has riggers. And
Yes, at
Paint for Joy.
Paint for Joy.
Yeah. She's in St. Albert, Alberta.
Yep.
Janet Roche watched her Christmas whale video the other day on Facebook. Bought 3 of her Santa patterns. I'd like to paint at least one for Christmas.
Who's that?
That's Patrick.
But whose pattern did she get? The Christmas one.
I don't know. I thought they were talking about Carol Maxwell.
Oh.
I think. I don't know. Chat's moving pretty quick today. Yeah. I'm having a hard time keeping up.
So I just based the head and the upper body of those little lightning bugs with some lamp black. We don't do a whole lot to the upper body. We're going to highlight it. But aside from that, we don't have to do a whole lot there. So I think we're just about there. So I've got a little bit of blue in. And we've got the flowers painted. We are going to grab some cobblestone, I think is the color that I use.
Yes, oleander is extremely toxic.
It is. It's deadly.
It's deadly. That's why it's a Halloween thing.
Oleander tea.
Yeah. We do not recommend making oleander tea.
No.
It is not some hidden cure or...
No. Do not drink the oleander tea.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. A few years ago, we were on vacation on Grand Manan Island, and we were staying at a place called the Smoke Shed. It's a series of cottages on a little harbor on an old fishing village. It is just the most remarkable place. And one of my favorite things to do when we're on the island, I walk the beaches. We walk all over the place because it's such a beautiful, wild place. And I came across these extraordinary flowers. They were just so pretty. They reminded me of fuchsia slightly. Because the flower sort of tipped down a little bit, and they were made of the most incredible, brilliant yellow and then this deep, dark purple, and they were just so pretty. And so I picked a whole bunch of these wildflowers to take back to the cottage. So I had this little mason jar full of these elegant little pretty flowers, and I just thought they were just the most wonderful thing. And so I decided to go through my handbook about wildflowers in New Brunswick, and that's when I found out that I had just brought home an entire mason jar full of deadly nightshade.
It's so pretty.
It is pretty. The flower is very pretty, but it's deadly nightshade. It's like, oh, wonderful. Now I'm bringing home poisons. So I go and wash my hands real quick. All right. Yeah.
My mother, the apothecary.
Your mother. Oh, I'm telling you. It's like I'm walking around with deadly nightshade in my hands. Oh, that's wonderful. No gloves.
First time I ever went into a wolf pen
Yeah.
was going to university, and we went to the Winnipeg Zoo there.
Oh, yes.
And they have a pack of wolves there, along with coyote hybrids.
Yes.
First time I ever went in there, and I'm playing with one of the young coyote pups.
Yeah.
And the teacher's like, "What are you doing? That is a predator." And I just played with him.
You were playing with the puppy.
I was playing with the puppy. It was well, it wasn't really a puppy. It was like an adolescent coyote. He was having fun. He was raised in captivity. It's not like he was gonna...
so he was accustomed to humans.
Yeah. But everybody else there was just...
Oh, it's like me walking past that pond in outside of Daytona, outside of Orlando, actually.
The gecko.
I got the hitchhiker, but the fellow working in the hotel that I was staying at watched me walk right past this pond.
Yeah.
And then met me at the door and asked me, "What are you doing?" And I went, "What? Am I not allowed to walk there?" "Well, it's not that you're not allowed, but it's not advisable. Apparently the pond is full of alligators." I'm like, okay. He said, "Yeah, not advisable to go, tripping along the edge of that pond."
Was it the gecko that Deb was terrified of that you had on you?
Well, I had a hitchhiker. I walked across that grassy spot in front of the hotel, and I picked up a hitchhiker. It was just a little gecko that attached himself to my leg. Deb does not like reptiles. So she was kind of creeped out, but I thought he was pretty cute.
Only Tracy. She comes home with good stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I come home with some that are just...
And there's Deb.
Hi, Deb. She's caffeinated.
Yeah,
She told me she would be.
I never knew about oleanders being poisonous. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah? Critters in general, eh, Deb?
Yeah, critters in general.
Okay.
And they're cute little puppies.
Unless they're
and
cute.
her little one is some freaking cute.
Yeah, she's a troublemaker here, too.
Yeah, she is a troublemaker, but she's so cute. She's too cute. She gets away with murder.
Yeah, don't let that happen. Oh, Patrick, I could not agree more. Between YouTube, Facebook, and Zoom, there are more classes than time.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm painting in that metal handle that's on our jar.
Tracy's guardian angel works overtime.
My guardian angel face palms on a daily basis.
What was that one I just read? Oh, the devil on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. I think mine is, just in general going, oh my Lord. I read something the other day that said, I wonder if we give God a headache. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure my guardian angel just gave up.
Yeah.
He's not going to listen to me. He do what he do.
Yep.
Apparently Deb's pup's got a friend this week.
Oh, Freya, I think.
Freya?
Is it Freya?
Freya. What color are you using for the handle?
The handle, I'm using a little bit of cobblestone. I'm actually quite enamored with this color. It's the color of blah.
It's meh.
It's meh. But it's a very useful one, especially, when you're looking for something with a true neutral to it. This is it's a great color for this.
With the world today, I'm sure he has a migraine.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's more than likely thinking he's got a brain.
Walked out of the room.
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
I'm done.
This is not my fault. I'm walking away.
Yeah.
He could burn for all I care.
Yeah, I think the poor fellow is just, probably at the end of his rope. So we have our handle done. It's super simple. It's just this, this beigey gray thing. I kind of wanted to mimic sort of a like a galvanized metal, and I like the cobblestone because it has a slightly gray undertone to it, and it works well with this blue.
Ooh, what kind of schnauzer?
Who's that?
Deb? Deb is saying Freya the schnauzer.
Yes, she's a miniature, a small one.
Oh, the
she's
small
not
one?
a bigger one. Yeah.
She's not standard schnauzer or giant schnauzer.
Nope, she's a small one.
I like giant schnauzers. They make great protection dogs.
So I'm taking that same yellow that I used for all of our glowing dots in the background. And I'm putting a coat of that yellow on our...
Was that your tummy?
It was my tummy.
Okay. It wasn't the cat purring.
No.
It was her stomach.
Well, I haven't eaten today, so it's growly. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I had a yogurt. I love that sunset gold, that new color from Decor. It's a great yellow.
Pitbull, Karen. Pitbull. Get a Staffy.
Staffordshire Terrier.
Get a Staffy or a Blue Nose. If you're worried about Jackson, that would be his best friend.
Yeah.
A Blue Nose puppy would protect Jackson to the...
Jackson already has a little buddy at home.
Oh, yeah?
Buddy. German Shepherd. German Shepherd and Husky mix.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, you got some attachment issues with the Husky, but... I love miniature schnauzers.
There we go. So we have to, because we're going to be putting some yellow in here, quite a bit of it, we need some white in a couple of places. This lettering, the word bright, and on the inside rim of this, the lid on here.
He is not a little puppy.
No, he is not a little puppy.
But he is the size of a house.
He's a big dog.
German Shepherd.
Mixed with a husky.
Mixed with a husky, so he's energetic and big.
Yep. So a friend of mine lost her puppy last week, I think it
Aw.
was. And then another friend of mine, his dog has been having seizures. She's a golden.
I don't know.
Yeah. And she's just young.
CBD.
Yeah. So I'm going to put, I know you're, again, for the same reason that we did the butts on those lightning bugs, we put that white. We're going to do that to the inside rim. The inside rim of this lid is going to get a coat of yellow, the same yellow, because this is the light reflected from the inside of the jar from these little guys that are down here. So we want that lid to have a nice reflection.
Linda Deming says your project is turning so cute.
You know, this is not an overly complex design. It has a very short color palette, which is what I wanted. So it's not complex or even difficult to do. There's lots of little steps, but it's not difficult to do. But when I put this together, I kind of wanted to play about with some easy techniques or effects. And then at the same time, sort of cover a couple of things. And one of the things I wanted to cover was realizing that these guys are casting light inside this jar. And we will be handling some reflection on the inside of the jar. But because they're casting light, it has to go somewhere. And so it's reflected on the inside of this band on that lid. And so that is why I put the white and then that bright yellow there. Now, I wanted the lettering to have a similar effect, so to sort of carry that. So I am going to base coat all of the lettering with the rigger. And one of the things that I like about this particular font is that it kind of has a childlike feel to it, which is in keeping with that whole idea of, you know, catching lightning bugs in a jar. So I felt that this font style was appropriate. And it's simple. I didn't want a really elaborate font for this because it's not an elaborate design. It's not a complex one. But I wanted a font that was going to work with the overall theme, and I thought that this one did.
How did they get on snakes?
I don't know.
I don't like snakes. I love snakes.
Snakes don't bother me at all. Not something I'd want as a pet, but that's just a me thing. I'm
They'd be
told.
great pets.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Just not my cup of tea for a pet. I like furry things.
Snakes are cool. I got one tattooed on me, so.
A friend on Facebook, Mary Zaworski. I never get her name right. Mary Zaworski. I guess she was putting her chickens to bed last night and found a 5-foot snake in the hen house.
Oh no!
It's like, okay.
Was it just a rat snake?
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she had to figure a way to get him out of there.
That's pretty common.
Oh well, yeah. They get in there and want to eat the eggs. Snakes like hen houses for that reason. Eggs
We
are
don't have
okay.
lightning bugs on the West Coast? What? Sure you do.
Well, we had them here just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We saw a few. Dad and I were just going up to bed one night and saw one buzzing around the outside of the house. I was like, cool.
Hey, what's for supper?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know, Linda. What is for supper?
we are having grilled steak done in a coffee rub.
Hey, what's for supper? You're slacking, people. Linda is just taking her role as a moderator
Oh, she's,
seriously.
you know, she's awesome. Holy cow. She's so great in the Facebook group. She's amazing. Every single day there's a positive post and, you know, directions to things. She's so helpful. She's so good to everybody. always positive, always engaging, always encouraging, which is really nice to see. Not to mention she's fun. She's always got something fun to talk about or something fun to show. It's great. I feel like a truck driver. I keep turning this thing around.
So, lightning bugs do show up pretty much anywhere in Canada.
Yeah.
And in some of the states. On the West Coast, you're going to find them in marshy areas.
Yeah.
So very, very marshy areas.
Well, we're kind of in a marshy area.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
If you get moose or, what is that bird?
Heron.
No, not heron. Loons.
Loons, yeah.
Loons like to eat them.
Yeah.
So if you hear a loon, there's lightning bugs around. I had to write a paper on friggin' loons.
Well, must have been an easy one for you.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Well, you know what they say. Takes one to know.
Yeah. No, we had to pick a bird
Oh.
and write a behavioral essay on it.
Oh, gotcha.
And I thought writing an essay was difficult, but writing a behavioral thesis essay
Yeah.
is
yeah.
not easy.
No.
But it passed.
I'm not surprised.
It just took me 3 weeks to write it.
Yeah. So I'm just base coating all of this lettering with warm white because we're going to come back in and paint this lettering with that golden yellow, the same yellow that we used for our lightning bugs. I have no idea why I say that with a twang. Just seems appropriate. Don't know why. Lightning bug. Coming together. Coming together.
Yeah, lightning bugs are a loon delicacy.
And they're also a beetle.
Yep.
They're not. That's why I've always found that the term.
They're not good at flying.
Yeah, that's why I always thought the term firefly was an inaccurate one because one, they're not flies.
Yeah, they're a beetle.
They're a beetle, and they don't fly very well.
Uh-oh. They are a bug.
Yeah. So I always thought that the name lightning bug was cute.
After you load the brush with fast drying medium and add your color, do you reload medium
From time to time? Yep.
Yeah.
If I find the paint is dragging, because usually, let me show you something real quick. I do like to show this because it's simpler. So this is my palette. This is how I load things. So I get some medium in my brush, and then I mix a little puddle of paint. I just pull some from the main puddle. So I have a puddle of paint that's already thinned and ready to go. It has the medium in it. And because it's a glaze, this stays wet a little longer than just if I had mixed it with water. So I'm able to just come back to that same little puddle on a regular basis to reload my brush. So I can do that. So whenever I feel that my paint is starting to run out, if I'm not getting enough coverage, or if I just need to pick up more paint, I just go back to that original puddle. If I find that the puddle has gotten a little thick or a little, then I'll just pick up a little more glaze and go back to my puddle. And I've always found that that works for me. And that way I have a little reserve of color that is already the consistency that I want. And it's right there. Got a whole puddle of it. And again, it's that consistency. So I can just push and pull paint around easily. Look at that. Having that little extra puddle of paint that is already thinned to the consistency that I need makes a big difference. Easy peasy. Such an easy way. And I kind of like that these letters are imperfect. You know, that they have that sort of childlike quality to them, this particular font. So if you don't get them absolutely perfect, it's okay. As long as they're straight and level, that's really the only thing that's important. I'm not looking for absolute perfection when it comes to this type of lettering. As long as it's clean, you know, tidy, straight, level, that's all that really matters. If the lettering is not perfectly painted, meaning that it's not fully opaque everywhere, that's okay. It's not that big a deal. And it has that kind of distressed appearance anyhow, so it works in our favor. And we're almost finished with this. I like having that paint pre-mixed because then it flows off of that brush quite easily with very little effort. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, supper tonight. Renee didn't respond. I was quite surprised. I make a lot of my own seasoning mixes. You know, for steak rubs and for the smoker and things like that. Then I can control how much salt is in everything. And I got a recipe a couple of months ago that I've been anxious to try, and it's made with espresso beans. And so I had to grind it to a very, very fine grind. And then it gets mixed with a variety of other herbs and seasonings. So there's thyme, there's some garlic powder, there's a whole bunch of other things in it, including a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of cumin, just to give it a nice earthy flavor. And my next door neighbor, who is also a fan of using his smoker, he has a big green egg. I have a different type of smoker, but I had given him some of this coffee rub, this espresso rub, and he did some pork loin with it, and he said it was absolutely fabulous. So tonight we are having sirloin steaks. I'm using a top blade sirloin. Top sirloin, I should say, not blade, but top sirloin, and that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Some grilled steak using that espresso bean rub. I've been anxious to try it, but my neighbor tells me it's delish. So I guess the oils from the coffee beans does wonderful things for things like steak and pork. So I'm anxious to try it. So they've been upstairs all rubbed up, just sitting there waiting for dinner time. So we're going to throw a little bit of that yellow Now I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow that I've done with that white. Throw a little of that Joe Sonia's in there so that I have a nice little puddle that will cover nicely. It's such a nice bright yellow. I've got a little spot there where I wobbled. I gotta fix, but that's no biggie.
You can go down.
No. Here we go. I do like this yellow. Just make sure you cover all of the white. But again, you don't have to worry too much. If something is not looking right, we can clean that up after the fact.
Getting some food.
Okay. I do love this sunset gold, that new Americana color. That is just such a fabulous yellow. You could use it instead of the saffron. So if you haven't got any saffron yellow and the pattern calls for it, you could use that. Because it's that type. It's a high saturation yellow. Works really, really well. Just love this tone. And that little bit of white underneath it keeps it nice and bright on that dark blue. Because if I put that yellow straight onto the blue, it's going to look almost greenish. And then you're constantly having to fight that greenish undertone by trying to base coat over all of that blue. So that little bit of white underneath makes a world of difference.
They're talking about rubs.
Yes, we were talking about the rub that I did the steak with for tonight.
Is that espresso rub?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So.
Is sunset gold opaque?
It's not. It's it covers pretty well. It's not really transparent, but it's not fully opaque either. It's sort of halfway between. It is a yellow. A lot of the time it just doesn't matter how opaque a yellow is. But this one is, I would say it's semi-transparent.
Who knew you could have such a good time watching paint dry?
I know, right? So I'm going to get all of this, the word bright. I wanted this bright yellow. Just seemed to make sense to do this word in yellow.
I'm trying to teach mine not to eat the cat. Talk about fun. I can't turn my back, and she's not scared of him either. She goes right up to him. Yeah. Speaking of cat, is she still...
She's still chowing down.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Is it more opaque than saffron?
About the same. It's about the same. I just love the tone of this. It's such a great yellow. There's a lot of the colors in the new lineup, the new colors that came in from Decor, that are very transparent. I love the transparency. I love the fact that we finally got some really great transparent colors to choose from. A lot of people find them frustrating because they want that as a base coat. And those colors are not designed for base coating. However, if you can find a like color, and I'll give you a for instance, this one here, this fuchsia pop.
Yeah. There you go.
This fuchsia pop is a gorgeous color. It is not opaque. Although it looks like it should be, it isn't. Not even close. And so I used petal pink underneath it, or bubblegum pink. I used another pink tone with a heavy white base underneath it, and then you get that really great pop of color. And I did the same thing with strawberry, which is another great color. I just went to a darker pink to go underneath it. And again, I went to that bubblegum pink or something along that line, something with a heavy white base, and then I used that over top of it. And that gave me, lots of vibrancy. But to try and base coat with it by itself, you're going to be there for a month of Sundays. So I think we is just about there. So we've got all of our base coating done except for the lid. I'm going to do the lid. Now the lid of this jar is done with asphaltum.
You gonna dot your eye?
That would be helpful. Who picked that up?
I did.
Okay. There we go.
I wanted to get it before they got it.
So I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to talk about base coating. Now the centers of these flowers are going to be that same yellow. But of course we got to put some white in first. I just want to dry everything. Such fun.
I put the new purple iris over a lilac base.
Love it.
Wowzers, love it.
Yeah. So for that center of the flowers, I'm going to just take a little bit of warm white. Just a little. It doesn't have to be fully opaque. And you're just filling in space and the general shape of that center. Comme ça.
Could you mix white with the transparent color as a base?
You'll end up with a pastel if you want to. But it's...
Sheila just answered that.
Yeah. The minute you add any color to a white, you're going to get a pastel. You don't... Not that that's a bad thing. Depends on what you want.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on it.
What?
Apparently it's time for a drawing.
Oh, okay.
Let me get the wheel up.
So while you're doing that, I'll just finish doing these centers. So I've got white on there, and I'm going to use that same yellow that we used.
There we are. Are we ready to spin? I'm going to hit shuffle a few times here. A few more times. Really mix it up. There we go. Spinning! Who's winning some Tombow pencils? Or at least that's what they smell like.
There. Tombow pencils.
And Maria Santos.
Wow, Maria won last week too, wasn't
Did
it?
she?
I think so, or the week before. I know she won recently.
Maria Santos. Maria.
Oh my goodness, I kind of overdid it.
Santos. Boom, Tombow pencils. And we only got 3 of them?
Yep, 3 this week.
Okay, let's do another one. Spinning
Okay.
again. Just watch, it'll be something like Linda Sofranco.
You really shouldn't say a name, because then if it comes
it's
up...
Karen Jones.
Oh, cool!
She hasn't won in a long time.
No, she has not. It's Karen Jones.
I can't see the chat.
I don't see much of it. And I only see the one on Facebook here.
Ooh. That's the wrong button to press, Renee. It's all wonky. Karen Jones won some Tombow pencils.
Awesome sauce.
Don't think we need her address.
No, I think we have that one.
I think we got that one.
So I'm going to dry this while Renee is finishing that up.
Wow, I have never won. This is the first. Oh, okay. Well, congrats. Back to painting?
Back to painting.
All right, we got one more set of Tombow pencils that we'll give up to you guys. Near the end.
Yep. And next week's giveaway is we have 3 lettering sets from Tombow. Look at that. We're ready to go. Love it. So first things first, I always like to tackle my my flowers. So we're going to use a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? English, Tracy. Bahama blue.
There it is.
Hello. And we're also going to use a little bit of Prussian blue in here. So I've got a little Prussian blue. And I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch angle, or half, no, not quarter.
What's a lettering set?
Lettering set. It's, there's a brush tip marker, double-ended, so it has a fine point and a soft brush tip for doing brush style lettering. It comes with the pencil, it comes with the eraser, it comes with the drawing pen, and I think it's like a 6-piece set. It's a really nice set. They retail for about $20. So yeah, we've got 3 of those to give away. I'm a fan. And it comes with a little instruction booklet on how to do lettering.
Our 3 moderators haven't won in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Jessica, Linda, Sheila,
So,
Andy, Deb.
well, Deb's won a couple of times.
Yeah, she's won a few times.
So the flowers on the petals are going to get shaded with just a little float of Bahama blue closest to the center of the flower. And it's just the blue on the white. Easy peasy.
Am I going to have to move this again?
Am I out of the shot again?
Right, there we go.
Sorry.
I have some leeway that I can move on my own, but...
So that little float, and it is just a little float on the petals towards the center. The lower third of the petal, I would say.
Sheila, you know the rules. Can't call dibs on Saturday projects. Yeah, and I think you threw my name away, Renee. I did not, Robin. You're on there. I know you are. I haven't one. Ever big pout.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we went to the wheel. We wanted to make it as fair as possible. Yeah. So early on, we had received messages with some concerns that there was some favoritism at play. So we felt that the best way to handle that was to ensure that you guys could see what we were doing and who these prizes were going to. So this is just the easiest way to do that.
Some people win a few times. It happens.
It's the luck of the draw, and I'd prefer to keep it that way.
It's fun to be here. I would watch if there were no prizes. I'm glad, but...
That's good to know, but we like to reward that loyalty a little bit, so...
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate that we're working with some, some organizations that are generous enough to supply us with giveaways from time to time, which is nice.
I know my name is on the wheel, but I doesn't like my name. Never won once.
I don't know if I've ever told you the funny story about me. And oh yeah, I did. We talked about the coffee cup and the chocolates and the Tim cards.
Oh, if I had a list of everybody who won and took it away from... that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't. It's just purely the luck of the draw.
Yeah. All you gotta do is you gotta click the like button.
Yep.
And
hit
share.
The share button. That's all.
That's it.
We
Share
don't
and
ask
like.
for much.
You don't have to subscribe.
No, you don't have to. Although it's appreciated if you do, but you don't have to.
Come over to the YouTube side.
The dark side.
Come over to the dark side. We have cookies. His name is Bob.
Yep. We have a cookie.
We have a cookie.
His name is Bob. Now I'm going to use a little bit of Orange Flame, which is my favorite orange. It's a hot orange. This is going to be the shading color on our lettering on our bees and also on our flowers. So on those daisies, that orange is just on one side of the center of these flowers. And it can be as strong or as weak as you like. That's entirely up to you. I'm a fan of the big bold color, so I like to see a generous float of that orange.
Aw. We know Linda Safranco wins at least every couple of weeks. She's a sweetie and deserves it.
Linda hasn't won in a while.
No, she hasn't.
No.
And I don't know why.
I have no idea. For a while, it seemed like she was winning constantly. It was funny.
Yeah, there was a couple of weeks there where it was just every time Linda Safranco's name would come up.
Yeah. So on these little lightning bugs, the downside, so the side that is facing towards the bottom is the side that's going to get shaded. So I'm just putting a float of that orange on the body on the downside. So if it's pointing towards the bottom, that's the side that's getting shaded. This one is kind of pointing off to the right. So it gets that orange. And then we're coming over to that lettering. And this is where things get fun. I love how this looks. It just kind of makes this lettering look like it's a little bit on fire.
Ooh. Now they want to see how you can float with an IPC blender.
Well, not today because I'm working in pretty tight spots. The IPC works great in larger areas. So I'm just bringing the float about halfway up. So halfway up that letter. The nice part, this orange is transparent and it doesn't really change over top of that blue. So if you get a little on the background, it's not a big deal. I just try to limit it to where the yellow is. And then walk it up so that I go about halfway up that lettering with that orange. There we go. So I've got that yellow in. I'm going to dry this real quick and then we're going to repeat this, but we're only coming up about halfway up the halfway. So 1/4 of the way up the letter. So that we're going to get a nice dark orange at the very bottom of the letter. It's hard to say dark orange, but a darker value of that orange at the bottom. So it almost takes on like a flame-like look, which is almost. Now you can come back to our little lightning bug and you can deepen that float a little bit on that one side, just a little of that dark orange on there because we kind of want this guy to look like a flame, like he's casting light, and we're going to deepen this a little bit on.
Oh. Did you post the donation?
No, not yet. I haven't sent
No?
it to them yet.
Oh, okay. For some reason that popped in my head. I was like, wait a minute, did she post
Nope,
that?
I haven't posted it yet.
Oh.
No, because I've got some stuff coming
Oh.
still, so I do it all at once. So I'm just floating in a little divot in the center of the flower. So now we've got that little indentation in the center of our daisies. And our letters have really popped. So now we've got that bright flame-like color.
Renee, you shuffle them now so that mixes them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I shuffled them.
So we're going to come to the top of the letter with a little bit of that warm white. Just a little. I'm just putting a little float at the very top of the lettering. Just enough to give us a little light impact. Nothing over the top. Not very strong. I just want them to brighten a little at the top of the letter. And then this top word, shine, is going to get a float as well, but
Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
I did that. Just dropped my brush in the palette. So I've got blue and white. Every color that's on there. Okay, so we're going to come to the bottom of these letters with a float of asphaltum. And again, we're only coming about halfway up the letter. I don't want this super dark. It's just to change the value at the bottom of the letter a little bit. Just like that. So that it looks a little darker at the base and lighter at the top. And that's it for that lettering. Super easy. I'm going to dry this really well. You can add a stroke of titanium white to the top of these letters just for a final highlight if you choose to. That's entirely up to you. Now we're going to come down here to our jar on the inside of that lid. So we're going to take a little bit of that orange flame and we're going to come about 1/3 of the way with a little float of the orange on that there. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. And we're going to come about 1/3 of the way so that we have orange and then this bright yellow in the center. Works surprisingly well. So I need to grab...
I painted the word shine yellow. Can I paint over it with white?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or you could leave it yellow.
Or you could, yeah.
Doesn't have to be white. That was just a design choice on my part. It does not have to be white. So the lid of our jar is getting painted asphaltum. And one coat should do it. We don't necessarily have to make it this fully hard, opaque color.
Say what? It usually doesn't last more than a half an hour, but I can't see. I'm lucky it's not painful.
Oh, something to do with their eyes?
Is it your eyes or your like a headache? No, it wouldn't. It's not painful. Like muscle spasms? Do you have TN? Because that would suck. I probably missed half that conversation.
I think you did. She said it's not painful, so it's not TN.
Well, you can have TN and not have it not be painful.
Oh, really?
You could just get the muscle spasms.
Oh, see, to me, the muscle spasms would be painful.
Depends on how much pressure is applied to the nerve.
So one of the groups that I follow is for pain disorders.
Oh, ocular migraine.
Oh,
How is it not painful?
so it just affects the optical nerve.
Huh.
Wow. I would think that that would be agonizing. Well, the fact that I wouldn't be able to see would be agonizing.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Ocular migraines.
Ooh.
Oof. Does it just feel like pressure? Like swelling of the optical nerve, or?
I don't know.
That would suck. To me, that would suck.
Yep. Well, you have TN. To me,
That
that
sucks.
just sucks.
Well, I get some blurry vision in my left eye. That's about it. But it goes away once the pain subsides and the muscle stops spasming. But
So I have, the lid is base coated with asphaltum. And I'm going to take a little bit, you can use lamp black to shade this, or you can use a little bit of the Prussian blue. Oh, this is on the move. So I'm just taking a little bit of the Prussian blue and I'm shading underneath those flowers. You could double load this. It would probably work better. Oh yeah, that'll work better.
TN is a chronic pain disorder.
Yeah.
And it's neurological, so.
Yeah.
Mine's caused by a cyst. So I have cystic trigeminal neuralgia.
He's got a bump in his face.
I got a bump in my face. Well, it's not even, it's in my face.
It's in his face, not on his face. It's in his face.
So inside my nasal cavity behind my chin near my sinus ducts, I have a pea-sized cyst. And it presses up against the end of the trigeminal nerve that runs across my face.
Yeah.
Which causes shooting pain to go across my face and muscle spasms.
Yeah. So
good times. It's also known as the suicide disease.
Because the pain can be extraordinary.
Yeah.
And unrelenting in some cases.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
Yeah, he's lucky. He's also on medication for it. So
I'm on medication for it, and I haven't had a flare-up in...
It's been a while.
4.5 weeks. So I had a small one. I wouldn't really consider it a flare-up.
No, just a twinge.
Yeah, it was my face started twitching, and then it just went away.
Oh, that's good.
So
I used a little bit of Prussian blue or lamp black, either one. I just happened to have Prussian blue on my palette. And I double loaded it with a little bit of asphaltum so that I get a nice blend. And then I ran a float in those grooves, just a small one, on the chisel edge of the brush. Those grooves for the lid. And now, remember that point blender that we used to do all of that dry brushing? We're going to do the same thing to this lid. And I'm going to use a little bit of that yellow. And we're going to put a highlight right here. Just a dry brush on each of those ridges.
no fix for it, Renee?
No.
Nope. Well, yes.
There is, but it's worse than the...
Yeah, it's worse than dealing with the pain.
Yeah.
It's
Would be a major skull surgery.
invasive.
highly invasive.
It's a highly invasive surgery that requires my face being peeled off.
No.
So, no.
So invasive, even the surgeon was not willing to do it at this point.
Yeah.
So there is a dry brush highlight. And on that right side on each of those bands. Just like that. Super simple. And they're going to come to about, that first one is going to come to about the halfway mark. So halfway. And then you're going to switch to a little bit of warm white because we need a slightly brighter highlight. And start on that impact point, and we're going to go about halfway of the halfway. So 1/4 of that lid. There we go. So we have a really nice little highlight on the front edge of our lid.
What color was that?
I started with that same yellow,
Yep.
and then I repeated it with a little bit of warm white. So now the fun stuff. We're going to do that glow on the inside of the jar. You have a horrible look on your face.
I have TMJ with my jaw.
TMJ, yeah.
What is that?
It's, you get that loud clicking in your jaw.
Yeah.
Some people had it. Your father has it. It's TMJ.
I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a loud click.
It can cause all sorts of problems.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've never had it. Click once a day at least.
Yeah. Some people get really terrible pain from it.
What's this? I got a message.
So, the inside of the jar, we're going to use that yellow. And we're going to start dry brushing inside the jar around our bugs. Because we want a little bit of a glow in here. So we're going to come around our bugs. Like so. And then remember that opening up here gets that same dry brush. We want it a little brighter up there because it's impacting the inside of that lid. So we have the inside bottom of that jar. I'm going to show you. We need a line to imply the bottom of that jar, like so. And I take a little bit of that yellow. You can do it with warm white or with the yellow. It doesn't matter which. Going to blend it out quite a bit. You want to really thin this. And you're going to put a float along that line. Just like that. Oops, I got too much on there now, but I'm going to soften that. So it implies the bottom of that jar. And then while you have that angled shader loaded, we're going to add a horizon line like so. Inside the bottom of the jar, and it's going to come out here like that. And that just implies that the light is hitting the surface around the jar. There we go. kind of like that little glow inside. So now we have to start doing some of the detail work on our little bugs. And I'm doing that with a little bit of that Bahama Blue. I like Bahama Blue for wings and things like that. It just sort of implies that they're a little on the transparent side. So a little float of Bahama Blue on the wings. Closest to the body, I find that's the best spot for that. Closest to the body. We're surprisingly very close to finished. It's mainly just a few little details now at this point.
Can the cyst be removed? Yeah, not without an extremely
invasive surgery.
They would literally have to cut into my face after peeling my face off.
They have to remove a portion of his skull to get it out.
And there's no guarantee that
it'll work.
That'll get rid of it, because another cyst could grow. They don't know how long it's been there. It could have been there since adolescence. It could have been there new.
Yep.
But yeah, something I just have to live with.
Yep. And cope with.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have a big scar from ear to chin.
Yep.
Or from the middle of my forehead all the way down to my chin on one side.
Yep.
It's not fun.
It's not a pretty surgery.
No.
Now, if they felt that the cyst were malignant, or if it suddenly decided to grow for whatever reason, then they would reconsider it. But the surgery actually holds more risks than anything. So
I'd have to be on not like donor recipient medication.
Yeah, you'd be on anti-rejection drugs.
Yeah, because they'd have to put my face back on.
Yep.
And hopefully they didn't damage any of the nerves while they're doing it.
Yeah, that was the other thing. There's a big risk of that, so it's just not in the cards. The risks from the surgery outweighed the benefits. So I took a little bit of Prussian blue and I shaded all of these berries, these little blueberries that are in here, shaded those with a little bit of Prussian blue. I'm going to come over here to the that handle, to this metal, and we're going to shade that with a little bit of asphaltum where it goes underneath the flowers. Here. And here where they overlap each other, and we're going to put a little shadow under there and in behind here. And then there is a shadow on the back side of it, which is on the outside edge. Just a little bit of asphaltum. Now, in this particular case, we've got light literally coming from a number of sources. We have them from the lightning bugs in here, and then in general light coming from around. So we have to take all of those into consideration. So we've got a little shadow here because of the lid. And then we're going to put a little bit of the yellow on the inside edge of that handle right here. And it's just a little bit. Because remember, the light coming from inside there is on the underside of that handle. Like so. And when we do all the finishing details, I'm going to put a little stroke of white in a few places as well. So.
I'm glad you didn't overcomplicate the light sourcing on this one.
No, I just simplifying things and utilizing the bugs for that.
Yeah, because if somebody wanted to make this realistic, that's a lot of light sources to deal with.
It is, yes.
That would make it a pain to deal with shadows.
Complex. And we're simplifying matters here.
Yeah, because I see 1, 2, 3, 4 light sources from the bugs, and then a main light source.
Yeah. So we have a lot of light sources in this one. I'm going to grab my liner because we're going to do some highlighting on our bugs. So I'm going to grab my angle and a tiny bit of warm white. I'm thinning this. And there's 2 segments on the body of this little guy. And I'm going to put a float. Okay, I overblended it. Now I got no color left in my brush. There we go. So I'm going to put a float on the black. Like so. Remember, I've got the lighter value on this side of the bug, so that's where the brightest part of that highlight is going to be, is on the right. And on this little guy, it's on the left because he's turned the other way. And the same with this little guy. So it's on the upper right. So, and again, it's just a weak float of warm white just to give him a little dimension. And then we're going to add a couple of little details to this guy. So we're going to put a little stroke of warm white on that side for that shiny bit. And then we're also going to give him some little antenna. So a little stroke of white, and then 2 little antenna. Little stroke of white, 2 little antenna, or antennae, I guess it would be, because there's more than one. There's that little light impact there and there. And here's our 2 little hables. Hables or antenna. And we're going to put a nice little stroke. I want a nice bright stroke of warm white on the highlight side of our little Latin bugs. And it's just a little comma stroke. I like that they look a little shiny. Now, where's my pen? Now, I like doing this. I like going into my wings with my gel pen. And I like that little squiggly line, just like I do on my bumblebees. I know, that little squiggly line, it just makes for fun. Because honestly, if I were going to make these guys realistic, they wouldn't have white wings at all. They would have little brown and white, brown and yellow wings, because they've got a brown and yellow shell. Remember, it's a beetle, not a fly. But this is fun. Just some fun little details. We're going to do the same thing to the daisies. Just like I usually do with my daisies. We're going to use that gel pen to add little squiggly lines to the petals, just to define them a little bit. Super easy. And then, of course, we're going to have to clean up all the graphite lines because I can see them. I know they don't show up on camera, but I can see them. They're driving me crazy. So on those daisies, all of those petals, just get this little squiggly line and a few little details towards the center, just like this. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. I'm a fan of simplicity. And we are going to do those leaves. We're going to finish those up in just a sec. So all of those petals get this little finishing detail with the gel pen. Super simple. And the leaves are going to be so easy to do. You can do this with a lime green. I'm going to use the sprout green because I'm kind of obsessed with that right now. For all my leaves, I'm a fan. I think it works really well. It's a nice bright green. So I'm going to grab my angled shader. We don't have a lot of leaves in here, so plantation pine is my shading color for this green. If you don't find it dark enough, you can go to a sap green or you can go to a black forest green, but I'm going to use this plantation pine. It's my go-to for shading all my leaves. So I'm going to come underneath my flowers with a float of that plantation pine. And all those little leaves, they get a float at the base of the leaf. There we go. Wasn't quite dark enough. There. So, nice little float just at the base of the leaf where it joins the stem. It's a little C-stroke shading. Nothing major. Shade under your flowers. Under those petals. Like so. Like that little C-stroke. It just gives the leaf a nice little flip, makes it look like it's curving. And we get these itty bitty ones down here. They get the same treatment. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick. If you are painting something that you need to shade with and your green is just not cutting it and you don't have a darker green, let me show you something. Instead of reaching for the black, because the black has a tendency to flatten out the color, go grab yourself a little bit of Prussian blue and pick up your plantation pine, put just a touch of Prussian blue into it and then mix it really well. It'll darken your green a little, but it's going to work really, really nicely. So this is where I get to shade down the center vein of my leaves. I'm going to pull that brush mix of that plantation pine and that wonderful Prussian blue. Look at that tone. Gives you really nice separation, and it gives you a really nice deep shadow, but you haven't drastically changed the color. But it does give you a really nice deep one. And it's a great fix if you can't find just the right shading color and you don't have a darker green. Just instead of going to black, go to that Prussian blue. You're going to be happy.
So Judy is patting herself on the back.
Oh, is she? Judy Thacker?
Galt.
Judy Galt, okay.
Yeah. For the past 3 weeks, I've been working on organizing my stencil collection while listening and watching Tracy. I'm done.
Yay! Took you 3 weeks.
She set a new record.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good for you.
The record number of times you can buy the same stencil is now 5.
Uh-huh. I make stencils.
She makes them. And remakes them.
And remakes them. I share your obsession. This is how I organized mine. That's just my M square stencils. I have another one of these that has just all of my smaller CD wood stencils, all of my collage stencils, and some other small stencils. And then I have 2 12 by 12 bins that are full of stencils. I don't know how many stencils I have. I'm never going to count them. Because I can guess. And the guess is frightening. So I've got the shading done on my leaves. So now we're going to highlight them. And this is my latest obsession, is this. This sprout green is just fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. I love this green, especially for highlighting these leaves. For years I used margarita green, then I used olive green. And every time they come out with a nice bright yellowy green, I have to try it, and then I become obsessed. It's been matcha green for the last couple of years, and now I'm using this sprout. The sprout is a little more transparent. But this is such a pretty, pretty, pretty highlight color for leaves. Watch. I love this. I love that I can just put this little U-shaped detail at the edge of my leaves, and I can highlight with it so nicely, and it gives me that nice serrated look that I want for those leaves. It's super easy to work with. It's easy to control because it is not heavily opaque, so I can play with it a little bit. And I just love this green for the highlights, that pretty, pretty sprout. It's just such a lovely green. And then I can put that little highlight at the tips of all of those smaller leaves. Just like that. It's just a simple little highlight out on the tips. Do the same thing to these little ones. Just a little highlight. Just a little punch of color out at the points. Easy peasy. And even nicer is that I can throw a little warm white into it. Grab my liner brush. That sprout is such a pretty one. I want it a little bit more opaque, so I just threw a touch of white in. Get some of that Joe Sonia's in there. And this is for all of those little vines and tendrils. Look at this. Look at how pretty and how easy. That little touch of white to it just makes it opaque enough. So there's that line to my leaves, and then I can do that little delicate outline on my leaves, which I like so much. Those little stems and that lacy outline I just think is so pretty for these leaves. That little fine line around your leaves just softens them, makes them look a little softer and a little more delicate. And that line, that squiggly line, does not have to be right on the edge of the leaf. It can come past the edge of the leaf a little bit, and it just gives the leaves a bit of an airy feel to them.
Somebody named Lynn?
Mm-hmm.
Or Leanne? Or Lynn? Lynne.
Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Read my mind.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
That's frightening.
That is frightening. Do you ever use Americana neons?
All the time. I'm a huge fan. I love my neons. I'm working on a fall piece. I actually use them for the membership group's September piece. I use them in the leaves, and I use them in a few places. I do love neons.
They do show up once in a while.
Especially when I want something to really pop. I like them for Halloween pieces, but where you really want hot, vibrant color, and that's usually for fall for me. So I do like my neons. Have some right here. It's in my tray. So there. Look how easy. I love that sprout. Such a pretty, pretty green for this. And then you can take it on those bigger leaves too. Don't be afraid to do that. You know, those squiggly lines on those bigger leaves. It just gives them a little bit of softness, a little more delicate looking, which appeals greatly. Just makes things appear a little softer and more delicate, not so hard-edged.
What questions involving gel pen and varnish?
Oh, the gel pen, when it comes to varnishing, I don't brush varnish on right away. I usually take it out to the garage and give it a couple of coats of matte spray beforehand, just a couple of light coats. That way I don't have to worry about that gel pen smearing. Although I haven't had that problem, it's just easier to avoid that problem altogether by using matte spray. And because I use so many different products in a single piece, the matte spray just sort of sets everything. So then I don't have to worry about, okay, well, is that going to smear? Is this going to smudge? Is that going to stick? I just try to avoid that altogether. And then I just hit it with a couple of coats of matte spray first before I varnish anything. And my varnish of choice, somebody had asked me that recently, what my varnish of choice was, is very simple. I'm an ultra matte girl. I like my ultra matte varnishes. I just prefer a matte finish to anything. It's primarily because I photograph everything. So I like to have a matte spray and a matte varnish. I just like the look of it. That's my preference. And I do like my gel pen. I like my squiggly bits. And we just have to finish out this outlining, and then we're going to finish the details on our daisies. We just have a couple of more little things to do. Our leaves look good. We'll finish out these daisies.
No dentists were harmed in the viewing of this video. Guessing she got back from the dentist.
Yay.
Yay.
And all is well, it's good.
My iPad just fell on my face.
Oh, somebody's nodding off.
I must have fell asleep. Ouch.
Ouch. Yes, ouch. Unless she's really comfortable and this was soothing. I could fall asleep to Bob Ross. Just because his voice was so calming. Either that or we're just boring today. I don't know. Super easy. This isn't a difficult design to do. It does work up fairly quick, especially once you're prepped. And we painted this right from start to finish, so we're not talking about some heavy duty prep as far as this piece is concerned. So this one was not a difficult one. We are going to finish out these daisies, add the final details to these berries, which is just a little bit of detail work. We need some highlights on these berries. Just a dot of white, like so. And I'll do the same thing down here. Little dot of white on these berries. They do need something to connect them a little bit. I'm going to use that same green that we used for the leaves. Just a little connectors in between. Nothing major. Just something to connect them. And I'm going to grab my rigger, and we're going to start on the centers of these flowers with a little bit of asphaltum. And on that shaded area, I want a few dip dots of asphaltum. Make sure that some of those dots come out over the petals. Just gives this a nice finish. A couple in the center.
Oh, Nancy's wondering what matte spray if we can't find Americana.
You know who makes a really good one is Krylon.
Krylon?
Krylon. Rust-Oleum also makes one. And it's
there you
just
go.
a clear matte finish is all you need. But a good setting spray will also do the trick. I'm partial to Americana, but sometimes that's not an easy thing for people to find. But the Krylon one will work just fine. Just make sure that when you're spraying these, you're a good 10 to 12 inches away. So you're not too close. Make sure you shake it very well before you spray. That way you'll avoid getting that foggy mist all over everything. Don't want that. And then the final highlight for these daisies is dip dots of warm white. I'm a fan. Do like my dip dots. make sure you bring those little white dots out onto the petals a little bit. Just makes for a little more random. Keep it simple. And there we go. Now you can take your favorite Factus Black or your Tombow black eraser to remove your graphite lines. I'm a huge fan of the Factus Black, but they are difficult sometimes to find. The other one that I've been using a lot lately is the Tombow Black. That's become fast becoming a favorite because I find it doesn't polish the surface just much the same as this. It does not polish those painted surfaces. It also doesn't damage the paint. But I'm finding the Tombow, one, availability is they're so easy to find. They're inexpensive. I was really quite impressed about how inexpensive they are. And they work very, very well. So you can use that Tombow. Let's see. My Factus Black removes that white graphite off that dark background quite nicely without damaging the paint, which is huge as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to dry this. We have just a couple more little highlights to add. And I'm going to show you where they are. They're just with the liner brush and some thin warm whites. Just because I like to put those little finishing touches in. And we're going to put a highlight on our blue here and down here. It's on the inside of the jar. And then on the top of the handle, we just want a little highlight, nothing major. We just want to put sort of a light impact point on the outside of that handle. And then we're going to do the same thing to the lid. I'm just going to put a few little fine lines on the lid just to bring it forward a little so it's not sitting stuck onto that background. Just like that. And I'm going to put a little here and here on this handle. I like that. And then I like to do the same thing on this lettering, and like bright highlight on some of that lettering. It's just a thin stroke on the vertical and on the inside curve of that lettering. Just a shot of white. And then just have a look around, but I think we are finished with that. So the final thing that you do to this is, again, enhancing that idea that there's lots of light showing on this piece coming from those bugs. I'm going to use a little bit of warm white. You can do this with yellow too, but I just want the brightness of this white. And I'm just going to spatter this surface with the warm white. I'm a fan of the spattering. Everybody knows that. But a nice fine spatter throughout with the warm white just softens everything, gives it a nice overall. I like the rustic look of it too. Who am I kidding? There we go. And that is our Shine Bright. Yay! Easy piece to paint and a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed designing this. This one is just a lot of fun to paint. Now, I used in the other one, in the original, I used a chippy paint technique around the outside edge that is super easy to do. So I'll show you that. I know I've showed this numerous times because I use it quite frequently. But I'm going to grab a round brush and a little bit of that cobblestone. You want to thin that paint out because you want this to sort of roll off of the brush. So we're going to use that cobblestone. And I'm just going to do this sort of roll and push-pull method along the edge of the surface, so that it kind of gives me this chippy, broken look. Neatness doesn't count for this.
We have a sticker that says that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, neatness doesn't count for this. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. So it just gives us sort of a broken paint look around the outside edge. I'm a fan. I love this kind of rustic look to things. It just appeals to me on a lot of levels. And it's appropriate for this because I think that kind of vintagey look is, it works with this. And it's fun. I'm sorry, but it does. It finishes things off nicely, and it's a fun way to do it. And then I don't torture anybody anymore. We're going to do the easiest way to highlight this. Instead of taking out that liner brush, we're going to use that white opaque pen.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that white opaque white gel pen. That's what it is. I use the Uniball one, but if you've got, a Jelly Roll opaque white, that will do the trick too. Doesn't have to be what I use. Ranger also makes one that works very well. So,
Oh yeah, you had a pin that said that too, didn't you?
yeah, those disappeared really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went really quick.
Good.
So this is the one I use. This is the Uniball Signo. This is the opaque white. This one is my favorite. You can also get these ones. This one is the Ranger white opaque pen. These are available wherever they sell the Tim Holtz, but you can find these on scrapbook.com. They also have these ones on Amazon. I stock these most of the time, but we've been having trouble getting them lately. And then I just got the red ones in the other day. They took almost a month and a half to get here.
Just for the red pens?
Just for the red pens.
And
And
you're nearly out already.
Yeah, I think I only have 10 left,
Oh wow.
if that. So yeah, they don't last long. But I do love this Uniball. I think we've only got a couple of these left. So to highlight that chippy paint, I mean, it looks fine the way it is, but I find when it's outlined, it looks really good. You just take that white Uniball and just add the scribbly line kind of along the edge of that. If it's not perfect, that's okay.
Just gives the effect of multiple layers.
Yeah, it does. So it kind of looks like we've got layers of paint that have chipped away at the edges, and that's the fun part. So super easy. If it's dead on, it's great. And if it's not, oh well, doesn't matter.
It happens.
It happens. And it doesn't really change anything. If it's absolutely perfect, it's kind of boring. I like the imperfections, and that's where half the fun is, I think. And the effect is no better if you're dead on the money. I think the effect is actually better when you've got variations and you see a little of that dark blue through it. It doesn't look so heavily structured, and it's a lot more fun. And it's super easy, and I love the fact that this thing rolls along this paint just so easily. And it gives us that nice white border all the way around. So ultimately, once I'm finished with this white, I won't spray it right away today. It'll probably wait about 24 hours. I'll take it out into the garage, and I'll give it a couple of light coats of matte spray and then let that dry. And then probably 1 or 2 coats of the ultra matte varnish. And that's just for protection. The matte spray will seal it well so that things don't move, but the varnish is just to protect all of the paintwork. That is all. But it's a super fun, super easy piece to paint. A little nostalgic, the days of chasing lightning bugs in the yard. Putting them in a mason jar. I thought it was fun. I do have a fall version of this mason jar lantern coming that I thought was kind of fun. I'm comes to containers, mason jars, what inspired the mason jar thing was I have a little mason jar that's full of string lights. And it had a little handle with a sunlight power or solar power panel on it. So you could hang them out on your yard type thing, which I thought was kind of cool. But it kind of made me think about, when we were kids and we would go around with lightning bugs in a mason jar. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
Boom.
And boom, there it is.
There she be.
Shine bright. I thought this was fun. I like this piece. But in general, I like most of the pieces that I design. So from time to time, I'll come up with something I'm not keen on, but I'm partial to it. I think it's a fun one.
We got one name to spin.
We have one more name to spin.
Should I shuffle it?
Yes, shuffle it. By all
Okay,
means.
I will shuffle it.
So I hope you guys had fun with this. I did. It was a lot of fun.
It has been shuffled.
Has been shuffled. And do we have a winner?
Have you ever tried putting matte medium and using... Sorry. Have you ever tried diluting the matte medium and using a spray bottle to cover before varnishing?
No, I haven't. Simply because the water dilutes the matte medium too much.
All right, we spin.
Hey.
Who do we got?
He's having entirely too much fun. My tea is probably
and it's
drinkable.
Sandy Fowler.
Nice. Sandy's one of our new members.
Is she?
She joined us a few weeks ago.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Right on. Sandy Fowler.
Congratulations, Sandy. You're getting a set of Tombow drawing pencils. They're professional grade drawing pencils. They're really nice. And then there's a real pretty stamp from Multicraft, which is the new one. They've got a really nice butterfly stamp in there. So that's what you guys are getting.
I think JL just got her colors.
She got her new colors?
I think she got her new colors.
That's dangerous. It's always dangerous to get new colors. So next Saturday, we are painting the teapot that goes with the peas teacup. So we're going to have a little fun with that one. If you've already done the sweet peas, you're not going to find this one all that challenging, but it is a pretty piece. I do like it quite a lot. So we're doing the teapot with the sweet peas. And what else? We do have a new printable up for you on the website. You can go and check that out. We've got some new fall printables up. And what else? There's a bunch of stuff on the thing. I was going to point you guys to it. I've just seen a lot of stuff recently in reference to shading and highlighting charts and conversion charts. And we have on the free educational section of the website, we have all of those charts available for download. So if you've been looking for the Americana conversions, that chart is available in the free download section and in the free educational download section of the website. And there's also a shading and highlighting chart in there for the Americanas. It is the most recent one. We'll probably have to update it again because of the new colors, but it is one of the most recent ones. So that's available for download in there. So if you're looking for information on any of the Americana colors, the Americanas, we have a lot of those conversion charts, shading, highlighting charts on there, as well as the transparency chart. There's one of those in there as well. So every once in a while, go and check out that free educational materials section because we put a lot of that information as it comes available to us. So whenever they update the discontinued colors, that's where you're going to find that list. It's also where you're going to find, again, shading and highlighting, transparency, and the conversion charts are always in there. So you can go and download those at your leisure.
So then we're doing oleander tea, right?
I guess we are.
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing oleander tea when?
Yeah. Not next week, but the week after.
The week after.
Yeah. I'm not sure what date that is.
I can find out.
It's August something.
It's August something.
Yeah, it's August something. But it'll be up on the website. If you look, we made a couple of changes to
20th.
the front. The 20th. We made a couple of changes to the front page, the home page of the website. So now if you scroll down, instead of hitting, well, please hit the shop button. But if you scroll down below the shop button, you'll see the live class is listed there. And then right below that is what the membership group is doing for the month of August. So you can have a peek at that. Somebody had messaged me the other day in reference to the membership patterns if they were available to the general public. They are. However, they are not available until after the membership group has done their live class. And so the new pattern for the membership group, which is that pink Gerbera daisy, the marché aux fleurs Île de la Cité, is not available to the general public until beginning of September. So around the 1st or 2nd of September, you'll be able to get that one. But the one from the month of July, which was the honey pattern,
Yes.
the farm fresh or farmhouse honey piece with the lavender and the little jar of honey, that one is available on the website right now. So there you go.
You good?
I think so. So I hope you guys had fun with this one. I've had a blast. This one was fun to design. I do have a couple more of those little jar lantern ideas formulating and whatnot. So, and I've got a couple of nutcrackers drawn out too. So we have a few other things to play with in the next few
More
weeks.
Christmas.
Well, there'll always be more Christmas.
You're weird. We'll see some Halloween.
I got Halloween coming. We're going to do Oleander tea, and I
Another
promised.
zombie.
I also, that's another thing. I'm going to be doing another class with Artfully Connected.
Oh, nice.
And this one's going to be skulls.
Skulls.
Yes. Doing a skull piece for Artfully Connected.
Right on.
So, and we'll have the kit and the pattern available for that too in
Nice.
the next couple of weeks.
Fun.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I know that the group that watches on Saturdays, and not all of them are really fond of doing skulls, but I enjoy painting them. So I thought for Artfully Connected it'd be fun to do a skull one.
Nice.
So
Would like to see these little lanterns, one for each season.
that's the idea. So I got the Shine Bright. I think this one is more for summer.
Yeah.
We've already done the Christmas one. So I've got a
Gonna
couple
have
of
to do
ideas.
a spring one and
I got a fall one idea for
Christmas
fall.
would be easy.
I already did the Christmas one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you fill up the mason jar with water?
No.
You froze it?
No. That would be cute though, wouldn't it? Fill it up. It's just ice.
Just a chem stick in there.
Yeah, a glow stick. Yep.
It's a chem stick.
Okay, so. All right, guys, that's it for us this week. Thanks for joining us as always. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the big red subscribe button. And if you like to have fun and create and play and paint on a regular basis, consider joining us in our paid membership group. We have a lot of fun there too. So, everybody, please stay safe and have a great weekend. Mwah. Love ya. We'll see you again soon.